The Ballad of Zachodniopomorski Uniwersytet Technologiczny W. Szczecinie. A tragedy in 5,000 syllables. Oh, gather round, my dearest disillusioned comrades, and let me weave for you a tapestry of a symphony of bureaucratic incompetence, academic malpractice, and the slow, soul-crushing erosion of hope. This is not merely a review. This is an autopsy of dreams. I arrived at Zachodniopomorski Uniwersytet Technologiczny W. Szczecinie bright-eyed, clutching my notebooks like sacred texts, believing I was stepping into a temple of knowledge. Foolish child, the first omen, the future-proof degree programs, environmental protection, they said, a noble pursuit. Except, oh, sweet irony, the only thing this degree protects you from is employment. The job market laughs. It laughs like a cruel god, and the laughter echoes in the hollow halls of this institution, where the walls are lined with the ghosts of wasted tuition. Let us speak of the faculty. Oh, the faculty. A pantheon of theoretical ghosts, clinging to their yellowed lecture notes like lifelines. You see, an engineer solves problems. This is the sacred vow. But here, the professors are not engineers. They are archivists of obsolete knowledge, allergic to practical thought. You bring them a real-world problem, and they blink at you like startled owls, as if you've asked them to reinvent the wheel. Why should we learn new things? Their silence whispers, the old ways were good enough for us. And so, the cycle continues. Students starved of guidance, forced to grovel at the feet of these disinterested deities, begging for scraps of mentorship. But the true masterpiece of suffering, the administration, a labyrinth designed by Kafka himself, you wish to transfer. Ah, but the paperwork arrives the day before the deadline, a cruel joke, a bureaucratic sleight of hand. You ask for clarity? Each clerk spins a different tale, a new layer of confusion. No, you cannot authorize someone to collect your documents, they say, smiling gently as they lock your academic fate in a drawer and lose the key. It is not inefficiency. It is artistry, the art of breaking spirits. And the facilities? Oh, the labsware equipment is a myth, where hands-on learning means staring at broken machines and imagining what could have been. The classrooms. Time capsules of neglect, where the heating fails in winter and the Wi-Fi dies on command. The website? A digital wasteland where information goes to perish. International students wander like ghosts, abandoned in a system that forgot they existed. But the crowning jewel? The grading system. A roulette wheel of subjectivity where feedback is a single scrawled word adequate, as if education were a game of chance. And perhaps it is. Perhaps we are all fools, betting our futures on an institution that views us not as minds to nurture, but as revenue streams to exploit. Business on students, one review said. How quaint, how painfully accurate. So here I stand, a survivor of the great academic scam, whispering my warning into the void. Zachodniopomorski Uniwersytet Technologiczny W. Szczecinie, a name so long, it stretches like the years you will waste within its walls. Run, my friends. Run far, run fast, and do not look back.
In the shadow of the Zachodniopomorski Uniwersytet Technologiczny W. Szczecinie, a curious tapestry of commerce unfolds, one that weaves a pattern of discontent and unmet expectations. As we embark on this journey through the reviews and experiences of those who have walked these streets before us, we find a narrative that is as much about the human spirit as it is about the businesses that serve it. Let us begin with the Nike store, a beacon of sportswear that one might expect to be a haven for fitness enthusiasts and fashion-forward individuals alike. Yet the echoes of customer experiences tell a different tale. Here, the gleam of high-end merchandise is dimmed by the glare of poor customer service. Reports of invasive sales tactics and a dismissive approach to valid concerns cast a shadow over the brand's lustrous facade. It is a place where the excitement of a new purchase is often overshadowed by the frustration of a disputed return or a misunderstanding over promotions. One wonders if the assistant's eagerness to leave on time outweighs the value of a satisfied customer, or if the quality of the products matches the lofty promises made by the brand. Venturing forth, we stumble upon Baltica Wellness Spa, a place that promises tranquility and rejuvenation. Instead, it seems to deliver a masterclass in disappointment. From the enigmatic disappearance of personal belongings to the cold indifference of the staff, the spa experience here is akin to a labyrinth where every turn leads to another dead end. The scent of relaxation is overpowered by the odor of neglect, and the serenade of saunas is drowned out by the cacophony of complaints about the service. It is a place where the pursuit of wellness feels more like a test of one's patience than a path to inner peace. As our stomachs begin to rumble, we find ourselves at the doorstep of Cinkalnia Restauracja Gruzinska, where the aroma of Georgian cuisine fills the air. Yet, the promise of a culinary journey is marred by tales of wait times that extend beyond the threshold of reason. The food, when it finally graces the table, often seems to be in a rush to leave, much like the customers who come seeking a taste of Georgia but leave with a bland aftertaste and a sense of having been shortchanged. The atmosphere is soured by the specter of unfulfilled promises, where the grill's sizzle is silenced by the sound of dissatisfaction. In the heart of Szczecin, Spotkany beckons with the promise of a cozy brunch or a leisurely lunch. However, the reality that unfolds is one where time seems to stand still, or at least move at a pace dictated by the whims of the kitchen. The concept of slow food takes on a new meaning here, as patrons find themselves lost in a temporal vortex, waiting for dishes that seem as elusive as the sun on a cloudy day. The frustration is palpable, as the anticipation of a good meal is replaced by the sinking feeling that perhaps one's time would have been better spent elsewhere. As night falls, the neon lights of hype art music Szczecin flicker with the promise of revelry and mirth. Yet the beat of the music is often overshadowed by the thudding heartbeat of disillusionment. Here, the art of hospitality is lost in a sea of overpriced entrance fees and a service ethos that seems to have taken a holiday. The club's allure fades like the final note of a song, leaving in its wake a sense of bewilderment and the regret of having placed one's trust in the hands of those who seem not to care. In a quiet corner, Funka stands as a testament to the transient nature of business. Once a bustling hub of activity, it now exists only in the memories of those who frequented its halls. Its closure, like the end of a chapter in a book, reminds us that even the most beloved establishments are not immune to the passage of time. Finally, we arrive at Nebo Wine Bar Cafe, where the stars above twinkle with a cruel irony.
The prices here soar as high as the aspirations of its patrons, but the reality crashes to the ground like a shooting star that failed to.
You know, it is really sad to see how some people can be so cruel, especially in places where you least expect it, like near the Zachodniopomorski, Uniwersytet, Technologiczny, Szczecin. I mean, this is a place of learning, of growth. But it seems like not everyone around there shares those noble values. So, there was this time, you know, when a boutique just around the corner from the university got robbed. It was the Denny Klur boutique, a place where I am sure many tourists would have loved to find a unique piece to remind them of their trip. But instead of a memory, they would have been met with the aftermath of theft. I can only imagine the shock and disbelief on the faces of the staff, the fear that guy must have instilled in them. And the tourists, they probably felt a mix of fear and disappointment. Their day suddenly turned upside down. I bet some of them must have questioned their choice of travel destination after that. As for the thief, I hope he got caught. It is just wrong to ruin someone else's day like that, to take what isn't yours. It is a betrayal of trust, and that is something that can really shake a community. Then there is the story of the jewelry store theft. 3 men, just thinking about it. It is like a movie scene, right? But this isn't Hollywood, it is real life. And those kinds of actions have real consequences. I can picture the tourists who might have been planning to buy a keepsake from that store, only to find it in disarray. They must have felt so helpless, you know. And I wonder, did they end up changing their plans? Maybe cutting their trip short because they no longer felt safe? It's just so disheartening to think about. I really hope the thieves were caught and that the store was able to recover, not just for the owners, but for all the future visitors who deserve a safe and joyful experience. And let us not forget about the store selling counterfeit goods. Can you believe it? Tourists come to Szczecin expecting authenticity, culture, and instead, they ray deceived with fakes. It's like they ray being robbed of the genuine experience they traveled so far to have. I can't help but feel for them. Their excitement turning into frustration when they find out the truth. I am sure some of them must have felt embarrassed, thinking they got a great deal, only to find out they've been duped. I really hope the authorities continue to crack down on these kinds of operations so that tourists can shop with confidence. It's just so disheartening to see these things happening around such a prestigious institution as the Zachodniopomorski Uniwersytet Technologiczny W. Szczecin. It's like a shadow